Karim Adeyemi preferred to move to Arsenal despite Manchester United interest. Karim Adeyemi has emerged as one of the most sought-after attacking players in Europe, with Arsenal and several other clubs monitoring his situation closely. The forward has previously had opportunities to leave Borussia Dortmund, but chose to remain with the German side, believing it was the right environment for his development at the time. That position now appears to be changing. Dortmund is reportedly prepared to sanction his sale, and he is expected to leave at the end of the current season. This has opened the door for interested clubs, including Arsenal, to consider a move as they assess their options ahead of the next campaign. Arsenal interest balanced by title focus. Arsenal view Adeyemi as an ideal option to strengthen their wide attacking areas, with his profile fitting well into their long-term plans. However, the club is not currently focused on recruitment. The Gunners are deeply involved in a serious title race and believe they already possess the squad required to challenge for the crown. Their strong position and momentum could work in their favor when competing for elite talent, particularly when compared to rivals who are still rebuilding. Arsenal's stability and progress make them an attractive destination, even if any concrete move for Adeyemi is likely to be delayed until the summer. Manchester United rivalry and player preference. A report from TalkSport claims that Manchester United also hold a long-standing interest in Adeyemi and sees him as a suitable addition to their squad. The Red Devils are understood to admire his qualities and believe he could make a significant impact within their group. However, the report adds that Adeyemi does not favor a move to United, largely due to the club's struggles over recent seasons. It is further reported that he would prefer a move to Arsenal instead, viewing them as a more appealing sporting project. Despite this preference, Adeyemi may need to wait until the summer before Arsenal acts on their interest. For now, the club's priority remains firmly on their title challenge, with transfer decisions expected to follow once the season concludes.
With the theme of defenders as we move on to their opposition this weekend, and that's Arsenal. The statement win over Aston Villa, I don't really want to ask Rachel this question first because she's already given me the side eye. The statement win over Aston Villa in a run where they've been, lucky with own goals, they've had penalties. This was something else.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought when I watched this game. Look at the way that there is no tackle on any Arsenal player as they come in to score these goals. The space that they're given as well. To my mind, including the first goal where the goalkeeper just completely falls to pieces, this is an Aston Villa side for me that suffered stage fright on the night. Big match, crucial game. Had they won, they could have drawn level on points with Arsenal, and they froze. It was as if they were more used to seeing off sides where the pressure was all on the opposition than this one, because I think for them this was a real opportunity. That performance, particularly defensively, was inexplicable from what I've seen so far this season, particularly from an Unai Emery side as well that is normally so well organised. I expect them to bounce back this weekend, because they play Forest. They've won their last 10 games at home. They'll be good against Forest again. But I just think they almost flew too close to the defensive sun this weekend, in midweek against Arsenal. And they'll just be glad it's behind them.
I want to talk about Arsenal because they are playing Bournemouth. And stick with the defenders question now that Rachel is okay with it and okay with me talking about that game. Gabriel Magalhaes, that game showed me just how important he is to this team.
Yeah. But also, I think one of the things is they have so much competition everywhere, and that ups your level in training every day. We talk about making incremental gains. They are absolutely better with Gabriel.
Yeah.
He is, for me this season, the best centre back in the Premier League, maybe in Europe. His contribution at both ends is absolutely remarkable. And I think his relationship with Saliba as well has flourished. But
What's he do? Well, what is it that Gabriel? Why is he so good?
Well, I think the relationship for me is the key part. And I think, and I've always felt it as playing centre-back, when you have someone alongside you that knows you so well, they know your traits, they know the times when you'll think, I think I can steal this here, and you might take a risk. The seamlessness in which you can anticipate and cover for one another. You can't quantify that. You can't quantify that with when you play with someone you've never played with, or you play with someone that doesn't know how you communicate. They don't know the tone of your voice. You know, when you say, deal with that, they know when you need to deal with that because you're under pressure. They know when you've got time because you learn to communicate. And so for me, it's the pairing. The pairing makes them exceptional. Then they have the momentum of players around them. Then on top of that, they have the competitiveness every single day for every single one of the players in that team, pretty much. I think Gabriel knows he's going to play every game if he's fit. But you got to be on it. You got to be on it. You got to get better. We got to get better every day. And I think Man City are similar and have been similar for a long time. That ability to do that, there are not many other teams that have that. Most other teams in the Premier League, you know, their best 11, and there's a drop off in most positions. Sometimes you might have 2 or 3 positions that like for like, but for Arsenal, I think they've such an advantage, and that centre-back pairing for me is it's a language. And the goalkeeper behind them now too adds to that.
And they haven't had that centre-back pairing in a long time, which brings me to my next question and probably the final one on this game. Arsenal's injuries. I know everyone talks about their squad and their squad depth, but their injuries, do you think there's a bigger problem this season? Because again, the Aston Villa game without Declan Rice, who was injured, they haven't had their first-choice centre-back for many, many weeks now. You know, the defence has chopped and changed. Nearly everyone's played at left-back or right-back in this team. I mean, does it point to a bigger issue for you?
No, I'm the opposite, actually. I think it points to a triumph of their recruitment, because there hasn't been a drop-off, as you say, in quality when other players have come in to deputise. And the fact that they were able to win so convincingly without Rice, that will also have been a psychological boost for them too. With the players coming back, Gabriel came back. We saw he took his T-shirt off. I belong to Jesus. And he was very bullish about his religion, his faith, because it has been a long, dark tunnel for him. But he's been able to come back and make that statement. And there'll be other players that are coming back. What will be interesting this next 6 months, 5 months, is Arsenal have got players back. City have Rodri back. That's what makes this such a fascinating final few furlongs, because obviously Rodri for them is influential, but the 2 centre-halves are pivotal. The goalkeeper as well, world-class saves in the last couple of matches. It's going to be a fascinating 5 months.
And we will.
It's interesting you're saying about, you know, more about the hard to beat, you know, the kind of 1-0 wins, etc., 1-goal margin. Is he more? Is Mikel? Is he more George Graham? Is he more Arsene Wenger? What would you say?
Any of them wouldn't. You know, both of them wouldn't. But it's. Yeah, I know what you mean by a bit more George Graham. You know, being hard to beat. You know, getting 1-0 up. You know, that the song like 1-0 to the Arsenal came from.
Yeah, of course.
You know, score a goal. We know how to defend it.
Yeah.
And at the moment, that's what we're doing, you know, and we're scoring a lot from set pieces. That's what we used to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now Arsenal have a plethora of attacking options. They finally got back Gabriel Jesus scoring again, his first goal in almost a year. Kai Havertz returning from injury. He was back on the bench against Aston Villa. And Victor Gyökeres. How much of a dilemma do you think that is for Mikel right now? And I guess, who's your starting centre forward for Bournemouth?
Well, for me, that is a good thing. It's a good sign that they're all back. You know, and then you look at Jesus. He's finished it against Villa was just fantastic. You know, he's got that composure right in that most vital time. Yeah. You know, he can like cut it back or chop it back when people think he's going to shoot, or he's got that one-touch finish. You know, so it's going to be good competition. You know, because obviously there's a lot of noise around Gyökeres, you know, with his form. That's for me is a confidence thing. You know, he's got to try and somehow get his confidence back, you know, because he's a proven goal scorer. You know, it's just that he's finding it really hard in this division. Yeah,
what would you say, Sis, as well on Gyökeres?
I mean, there's games that I've watched and he's making like really good runs and he's getting in good positions, and it's just that confidence, or, you know, that where he's trying too hard. And then there's other games where he's making a run where you're like, why are you doing that? But is that because you're trying to do things out of the ordinary that hasn't got you to your heights that you've been so successful before? I think it's a really good thing. I think it's a real positive that now there's a bit of fire in the belly as well, with these strikers looking at each other going, because when things are going well in any team, and you've been in dressing rooms where you're at the top of the league and everyone wants to play. You know, if you get dropped or rested or wherever it is now, or, you know, what are their classes now? The ones finishers, that's it, the finishers.
Yeah, finishers, yeah.
Everyone wants to play. You know, whether they get 20 minutes, if they get half an hour, everyone wants to get in there to make an impact, to get in that starting lineup for the next game. So that culture, that environment that Arteta's built there is superb. You know, going to train every day, you know, training must be bouncing, everyone's enjoying themselves. and everyone wants to play and everyone wants to have a Premier League winners' medal.
Absolutely. Well, the interesting thing, obviously they're now 4 points clear into the brand new year. But I want to show you this graphic because it is quite interesting, right? Because this is basically showing. Let's pull this up if we can. On New Year's Day in previous years, we've done it before. We've done it top at Christmas Day. I think 3 times we've done it before, and we've never gone on to win the league. How much will that be? Look, you can see it behind us here. Arsenal under Arteta. You can see here, all the way from 2020. Obviously, they were in 10th position. Ended up second there. This is when on New Year's Day where they've been and where they've ended up. How much do you think it's in their heads? Obviously, being top at Christmas, that type of vibe.
It'll be in their heads, definitely. But the motivation of proving people wrong is massive. You know, I had that all through my career, more or less, when I got released at 19. And that motivation to prove people wrong and shut people up, honestly, it can be a big driving force.
Yeah.
Really
do you think there'll be certain players in that dressing room that are like, this isn't happening again?
I wouldn't. I think that happens when in certain scenarios. So, in a few weeks, if they drop points, which I think they're going to drop points this for the remainder of the season, that's a given. And then Man City, because you don't want the one team you don't want chasing you is going to be Manchester City. You know, and they're going to be there or thereabouts, of course. And I think it's going to go right to the wire. But there's going to be moments where they're also going to go and build on the experiences from previous seasons where they've just come so close, and they'll draw on them experiences. You know, they'll have players that have seen that dressing room. Someone like Declan Rice, the 2 centre-halves, for instance, the goalkeeper, good vocal voices that will sometimes just go, listen, calm. We've been here before. It's not a problem. Let's just worry about ourselves, worry about what we do on the pitch. Just keep doing what we've done all season and it will come.
It's like when they played Sunderland. You know, when they played Sunderland and went 1 down, you know, that in the past would have turned into a defeat.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, they seemingly have that resilience to almost get over the mark. But look, we have a very simple poll for you tonight. Usually we try and push the boat out, but this one, let's just welcome to Premier League Friday, some of the best saves of 2025 there, which brings us nicely to your specialist subject, David Singh, goalkeepers. You honestly, you were like a kid of Christmas Day watching that clip there.
Enjoyed that. That was so good.
Unbelievable.
Like goalies making saves, you know, like proper saves as well.
Yeah, really, really fantastic. I mean, look, let's start with your old side, obviously Arsenal. We're talking about David Raya. I mean, you know, he's been at the club for a while now, and he's just really seemingly coming in clutch for them in big moments. How good is he in your eyes?